Welcome to Pro Tools Mastery, a comprehensive guide to mixing and mastering. In this tutorial, we'll explore every foundational aspect of mixing and mastering in Pro Tools, providing in-depth knowledge to help you craft professional quality tracks. Pro Tools is divided into two main windows, the Edit window and the Mix window. The Edit window is where you arrange, cut, and edit your audio files. The Mix window is used for adjusting levels, applying effects, and routing audio. Familiarize yourself with the toolbar, menu options, and shortcuts to optimize your workflow. To begin a project, import your audio files by navigating to File and selecting Import Audio. Choose the tracks you want and ensure their sample rate and bit depth align with your session settings to maintain quality. Organizing your session is critical for efficiency. Start by naming your tracks clearly. For instance, name your vocal track, lead vocal, and your kick drum track, kick. Use color coding to visually separate instrument groups, such as drums, vocals, and instruments. Pro Tools also allows you to group and collapse tracks into folders for better management. The Mix window is where the magic happens. Here, you'll see faders for volume control, panning knobs for stereo placement, inserts for adding effects, and sends for routing audio to auxiliary tracks. Take time to understand the signal flow from your source track to your output. Creating templates saves time for repetitive tasks. For example, set up a mixing template that includes preloaded plugins like EQ, compression, reverb, and delay. Add routing for common effects such as drum parallel compression or vocal reverb buses. Equalization, EQ, is one of the most fundamental tools in mixing. It allows you to boost or cut specific frequencies to shape the tone of a track. For instance, use a high-pass filter to remove low-end rumble from vocals or boost high frequencies to enhance clarity. Understand the frequency ranges. Bass lives in the 20,250 Hz range, mids occupy 250 Hz to 5 kHz, and highs are above 5 kHz. Filters are essential for cleaning up audio. A high-pass filter removes unnecessary low frequencies, while a low-pass filter eliminates high frequencies. For instance, apply a high-pass filter to guitars to make space for the bass and kick drum in the mix. Vocals often suffer from sibilance, the harsh S and T sounds. Use a de-esser plugin to target and reduce these frequencies without affecting the overall vocal quality. Compression controls the dynamic range of a track, making quieter parts louder and louder parts softer. This ensures consistency throughout the mix. Learn the controls. Threshold determines when compression starts, ratio dictates the amount of compression, attack sets how quickly compression kicks in, and release defines how long it takes to return to normal levels. Parallel compression adds punch and presence. To achieve this, duplicate a track, apply heavy compression to the duplicate, and blend it with the original. This technique works wonders on drums and vocals. Reverb creates depth and a sense of space. Common types include plate reverb for vocals, hall reverb for orchestral instruments, and room reverb for a natural ambiance. Use sends and returns for applying reverb to multiple tracks without overloading your CPU. Delays add rhythm and texture. Short delays can thicken a vocal, while long delays create echo effects. Always sync the delay to the song's tempo for a cohesive sound. Panning distributes sounds across the stereo field, creating width and clarity. Keep low-frequency elements like bass and kick centered, while panning guitars, keys, and backing vocals to the sides for balance. Automation allows dynamic changes over time. Automate volume, panning, and effects to create movement and interest. For example, fade out a track at the end of a song or automate reverb levels for a dramatic effect. Buses streamline your mix by routing audio signals. For example, send all your drum tracks to a drum bus and process them together with compression and EQ. This creates cohesion and saves CPU resources. Phase issues occur when two tracks are out of sync, causing a thin sound. Use Pro Tools Phase Correlation Meter to identify issues and flip the phase on one track if needed. Gain staging ensures clean audio throughout the signal chain. Keep track levels consistent without clipping to allow headroom for processing. Stereo imaging adds width to your mix. Use stereo wideners carefully to expand the sound without creating phase issues. Always check your mix in mono to ensure compatibility on all playback systems. Mastering is the final stage of audio production. Begin with EQ to fine-tune the tonal balance of your mix. Use multi-band compression to control specific frequency ranges and a limiter to maximize loudness without distortion. A limiter is the last plugin in the mastering chain. Set the threshold to reduce peaks and adjust the output ceiling to prevent clipping. Aim for competitive loudness while maintaining dynamic range. Export your final track by selecting the appropriate file format and bit depth for your distribution platform. MP3s are common for streaming, while WAV files are preferred for higher quality. Back up your session files to multiple locations to prevent data loss. Store them on external drives or cloud storage for added security. Congratulations! You've now mastered the foundational principles of mixing and mastering in Pro Tools. Remember, practice is key to honing your craft. Experiment with different techniques and trust your ears to guide you. Happy mixing!